Grandpa busts into the room. Lights on. Nothing. Pain gone. He sat in a chair and talked to me until I fell asleep. Woke up. He was in the same chair reading a book. Years later I asked him why he did that. He told me that he wouldn't let me go that way. Never talked about it again. I don't remember any of this, but apparently some weird shit happened in my house during my childhood. My older brother says that when I was a child, I would often say I could see a floating face in our backyard. According to him, I said it was a white female-looking face which had tears streaming from her eyes, but the face had no expression otherwise. He also says that around that time, our parents had to go out of town for some wedding or some shit and we stayed home alone for an entire night. We stayed up late watching movies in the living room, but apparently I was afraid to sleep alone in my room that night. I was 4 and he was 17, so he put the couches together so we could sleep there. Then he said, a few hours later he woke up for no reason, and saw some dark figure walking around the kitchen. He got terrified instantly. He hugged me. Still sleeping, closely and covered our faces with the blanket, hoping whoever that person, or thing, was, wouldn't see us and wouldn't hurt us. He stayed awake that night until our parents arrived a few hours before dawn. There was no one else at home, and nothing like that happened again. I was the rich kid among my group of friends, so we always played at my house since I had the most toys and the latest video games. A few months ago, we are all 25 to 27 years old now, we started having a nostalgia talk about our childhood and teenage stories together. At some point during the conversation, one of my friends said that he always had a strange feeling while we played in my room. He says he can't describe what it was exactly, something simply felt off there, and whenever my parents called me for something and I had to left the room, the sensation became stronger. At first I thought he was just fooling around, but my other friends say they felt the exact same thing. My cousin even said that he could sometimes see a dark figure moving quickly in the corner of his eye. I never experienced said sensation, but they do say it felt weaker when I was around, so maybe I somehow can block whatever that presence was? Fappen to know non-Jakuzur for like 6 months straight. She looks like my ex-GF that passed away from a heart attack. About to sleep, and then creepy noises. Fucking noises from the corner in my fucking room. Scratches and I fucking swear that I heard laughs. Out of the corner of my eye I see shadows moving like water inside a bottle. 3 AM and ready to FAP again. My PC is in front of a window. Rule 34 my semen demon. While I was masturbating, out of the corner of my eye I watched a tall woman with short hair peeked out. I'm not kidding faggots. I opened the door and nothing. 4 AM in PC reading about the Coronashitras. A fucking chair, the fucking chair moves in front of me. The USB cable started moving. I don't know faggots, I don't think that's the spirit of my sweet GF. She will never do that to me. And her hair is not short. 2009, went camping with some buddies on Monte Cristo in Utah. Dead of night, everybody's asleep, I wake up to pee. Leave my tent and walk to the edge of camp to relieve myself. Feels good. JPG. Right as I finish I hear movement in the brush about 7 feet from. Hey Anon, check this out, my good friend calls from the brush. Hella confused, all I say is, the fuck are you doing in there? Was about to check it out when I hear the same friend yell from his tent, stop fucking around and go back to bed. I freeze mid-stash, I get a sick feeling in stomach. The fucker giggles, and retreats deeper into the brush. No one else heard anything and thinks I'm crazy to this day. That was actually one of my more pleasant memories. August 23, 2011, went camping at Bear Lake with my family. Everything is going as expected. Me and one of my 3 brothers are at each other's throats. My 2 sisters are competing for my mother's attention. 11 total nieces and nephews eating everything and acting out. 10 p.m. and all the kids are finally in bed. Most of the adults have gone to bed with their kids. I was having an insomnia night and couldn't sleep, so I wander around the campground. Come across a little hiking trail that leads to the lake. Decide to walk it for a while, maybe I'd tire myself out. I'm almost to the lake when I hear my sister yell, "Help! I hurt my foot." Didn't think twice, booked it toward the sound of her yelling and whimpering. Get to the source of the noise and nothing is there. Suddenly I hear my good friend's voice from the brush not even a foot away. "Hey Anon, check this out." Get that same sick feeling in my stomach and try to back away. Something grabs my right forearm near my elbow. It feels like it's pinching me near my funny bone. Suddenly start smelling burning flesh. The thing lets me go and retreats back into the brush. My arm feels like it's burning as I haul ass back to camp. Head into the bathroom to check my arm in the mirror. A small dime-sized hole was burnt into my arm. Still have the scar pick related. I had a similar thing happen. I don't like talking about it, so this kinda gets forgotten a bit. Be me sometime around 2016 or so. Decide to go to sleep early. Been having trouble sleeping and have been trying meditation kinda to see if that helps. Getting anxious from laying in one spot and deep breathing for too long and still not getting tired. After what feels like hours of trying to fall asleep, I notice something is odd. My room is way too silent. Little strange, but still not enough to stop me from trying sleep, until I notice I'm getting cold. Don't feel my covers. In fact, I don't even remember getting into bed. Open my eyes, notice I'm laying on my back, but it is unusually dark. Oh, and that my blankets are tented over me. Brah. Still in a bit of shock and WTF, decide to look down to the foot of my bed and see this pale skinny humanoid creature holding my blankets up to look at me. Thing's face looked kinda flat and had either no eyes or they were sunken in its head, no nose from what I could tell, and its mouth was either just like its eyes or it was too dark to see. Think of the zombie thing from Zelda that screams at you, except more pale and mixed with Slenderman. Immediately upon seeing it, I try to stomp the thing's face. Wake up on my bed. Bed is still made and I was laying on top of my covers. Look around my house terrified only to find nothing, give up and try to go back to sleep. Never had another experience like this before or after since, and still confused and scared of what the fuck happened. I don't have any stories unfortunately, but my dad has a few he's relayed to me. Weird shit, stuff he's never told me until now. I'm 25, it's weird to see how many people have seen fucked up stuff and just don't tell anyone. Story 1: UFO Anomaly. My dad and some chick head out into the boonies and chill in a barn. They're presumably fooling around and girl notices something weird in the sky. Bright light moving around erratically, unlike a meteorite, too fast and sudden to be a plane. They both gaze at this thing. Dad tells me it gets closer to them, stops maybe 100 meters away from the barn, thing is absolutely massive. Lingers for a moment, then suddenly blasts off into the horizon at an insane speed. They sit for a moment processing what just happened and got TF out of there. Will continue in subsequent replies. Be driving down a country road. Only 2 lanes on a single road. Open field of wheat to my right. Forest to my left. See something in the field of wheat as I'm driving by. Looked like some kind of dog, but its back was visible above the wheat. Couldn't see its face, but it looked like as if it were eating something with the way it was tugging and lurching. Had stripes along its back with a mohawk-looking trail of black fur along its spine. Didn't stop to see what it was. Not sure if I really wanted to. One UFO sighting that was 100% undeniably something not conventional. Witnessed the event with 2 others, one of them won't even talk about it. The guy is a dirt bike junkie who don't like talking/thinking about that kind of stuff. A few other weird UFO sightings where one time I swore I made a psychic connection. I was at a park with my friend during nighttime, and felt this urge to look at a specific part in the sky. While looking, a UFO started to move around in an erratic motion. It was really high up there, and what movement I perceived as a short distance must have been thousands and thousands of miles. I pointed it out to my friend to confirm, and even he said it was weird. Not long after, a fucking low-alt stealth bomber flew over us. Not even making this shit up. Could have been a total coincidence, but thought it was weird for a place like that out in the middle of nowhere, unincorporated town. When I was a teen hanging out my window smoking a bowl, I swear to fucking God I heard a skinwalker or beast roar in the woods behind my parents' house. It was otherworldly, like nothing I have ever heard before. It made my whole body go into shock, so I leaned back into my room closing just on weed, and didn't even know how to process it. The second time I did meth I dead and started to experience some of the most craziest shit. The fucked up part is that it started out all in my head, like making a psychic connection with a satanic cult of kids who were orphans. They told me they turned their backs on God because of their hard lives and feeling abandoned by Him. They lived crazy dysfunctional lives of hedonism and pleasure. The most fucked part is I started to experience gang stalking right around the same time. I thought it was in my head due to the overdose, but it went on for months afterwards. I'm seriously fucked up now, lots of PTSD, mood swings, fear, disconnection, etc. First. Be me youngling alone at home. Playing vidya. A very tall figure walks into my room. It's humanoid, but so misshapen it doesn't remind me of human. It had no eyes but seemed to look at me. I looked at it and then went back to playing vidya. I think I just had a fever. Another. Be me, older. High school probably. Wake up during summer. It's super hot. I'm not fully awoken. I just hear hundreds of voices repeating they hear over and over again. Faint back into sleep. And most recent. Walk back home from work. Late, no one around. I'm walking past door to a building which are closed with a mechanism so no one can break in. They open when I'm not far past them and I see it because I looked back. No one was there to walk in, no one walked out. Lived in the mountains as a kid and half of the mountain was owned by this Indian woman. She told me not to venture to the top because it was sacred burial ground and booby trapped, so of course my friend and I did. We found a large stone pit filled with animal bones, some with meat on them. We climbed to the bottom and found they were from all types of animals: coyote, cougar, donkey, rats, squirrels and so on. It smelled just like burning